All right, the song you just heard was called If You See Him, Say Hello. Allison takes over on the vocals in that one. So tell me, have breakups undermined your self-worth the way that happens in this song in the past, both of you?
I mean, I definitely feel like when I sing a song like this, I tap into that feeling for sure. Just that kind of low down. You really feel like, wow, I don't even ever want to see this person again, but if I did, I'm going to say something I probably would regret. So I definitely, yeah, definitely have had that experience for sure. How about you, Taylor?
I've certainly had my share of breakups and things, but in general, with a song like this, I'm less drawing on a specific experience and more working like a novelist might, right? Where I'm kind of imagining characters and trying to make them real. Which is actually really in contrast to some of the parts of this album, which are deeply personal and absolutely coming from my perspective. This is one where I am enjoying the possibilities of fictional songwriting.
The song we're gonna finish on, which will be in a while because I have quite a few things to talk about beforehand. But we're gonna go with the idea of it first. Hard Tellin' is the song we'll finish on. And for the two of you, how have you decided which was the right way to go about reaching your goals?
It's a big question.
Big question.
You have any thoughts?
No.
Um, so for me,
Come on, you wrote a song
deciding
about it. You got to know.
well, so the song is sort of about not knowing, right? And the song is this kind of thing of how do you move forward when you can't really decide what's best, right? And we're all in that situation all the time. It was really interesting to finish up this song and the whole album. I kind of finished mixing it during the beginning of the COVID lockdown. So that was kind of when I was really doing a lot of it, and it almost seemed like the theme song for my whole life, right? Finishing up graduate school during this incredibly unpredictable time.
And it was right before we moved to Montana for a year too. So we were
Yeah.
really feeling unsure about things.
And right before we got married,
Yeah.
right? So all of these big life changes. We both finished graduate school. We were moving to a new place. We were starting a new chapter in our relationship. Um, and I kind of like this line that I landed on, perhaps more poetically than philosophically, but sometimes you've got to let it all unfold. And sometimes it's just about moving forward and doing the best with each step you can take and trying to find confidence and find peace with the fact that life will go on and things will happen. And so it's pretty exciting to be at a point in our lives right now where things are looking up. I just got this new job. Boston is full of possibilities for a performer like Allison. The group is getting to perform again. We're getting more and more high profile performances, and things look good. And so because of that, now when I sing Hard Tellin', there's a little twinkle in my eye, where before maybe it would have had a little bluesier tinge.
And on that song, you have partnered with Buddy Miriam, um, the prolific mandolinist, Long Island mainstay, and fellow WUSB host. Um, what was it like working with all of these Long Island musicians in a place that, at least compared to Kentucky or Montana, might not jump out in terms of being a source of great roots music?
Yeah, Buddy Miriam is an absolute musical treasure. And I think that there are some people on Long Island who really recognize how important his contributions are to the musical scene in Long Island in general, and then the kind of broader world of American roots music. But if I had the chance to go to the International Bluegrass Music Association's international gathering with Buddy Miriam to give a talk about him and his music. I gave a big presentation. I was asked to go down there and speak, and I was blown away the level of reverence that this man had within that community. All of the most famous musicians there, they'd see him from across the room and just leave whoever they were talking to come up and talk to Buddy. It was a really incredible experience. And for me, the coolest part about that is that over the past couple of years of working together, he's really become a very good friend. He's just such a gracious person. He's a gracious musical mentor. And so to be able to record this music with him, I feel remarkably fortunate.
And I think he does too, to have the relationship with you. I know he said that to me, at least, that he's so grateful for the relationship he has with Taylor, and have the opportunity to work with musicians that are totally outside of the norm for him. You know, he loves the French horn, he loves the cello, he loves the clarinet. So he just had a blast, I think, playing with us. It was really fun, and it was fun for everybody else too.
So tell me about having 3 Monteleone mandolins on stage at the Long Island Bluegrass Festival.
Oh, that was so much fun. And speaking of Long Island musical treasures, John Monteleone, it's hard to say definitively who the most important instrument builder in the world at any given time is, or even the most important mandolin builder. But in either case, you could absolutely make a case for John Monteleone being the most important living luthier. And the fact that he's, been based on Long Island and has connections to the musical community here is remarkable. And his instruments, at least for me, have this really special characteristic that they learn the music that's put into them. And so, I've had this instrument now for a little over a year. Buddy's had his Monteleone for almost 40 years. And it's remarkable to have 2 instruments that, very similar woodwinds built by the same hands. But Buddy's mandolin has learned how to play bluegrass. And it's so cool to hear that. And then Mike Sassano, who was one of the other mandolinists, he plays a lot of bluegrass, but he also plays a lot of jazz and blues. And his mandolin has this, it's from only, I think, 2 years after Buddy's, it was built. But it has this very different character than Buddy's that grows out of the music that's come through it. And so for me, I'm so excited to, so early in my musical career, have a wonderful instrument like that as I learn to make the music that I want to make, it seems to learn right with me. And it's almost like the ideas that are in my head just come out of this instrument. It's like nothing I've ever used before. So to have 3 on one stage was just so much fun. And both Mike and Buddy are, real musical icons for me. So to get to share the stage with them was a real treat.
So what's next for Deep Roots Ensemble?
Wow. Well, in terms of the people involved with it, Buddy, Miriam, and I are getting ready to release a duo album, or a album of mandolin duets. We're also playing with a fabulous guitarist and bassist. So the bassist is Keenan Zach, who's in the Deep Roots Ensemble, and the guitarist is Steve Salerno, who's an incredible jazz musician based on Long Island. And then Alison and I are starting to work on a duo album. It's been fun in the last couple years, as we were finishing up Hard Tellin, which was this real sprawling project, to think of these more intimate projects that we could do. But now that we've gotten to play together a few times with the Deep Roots Ensemble again, I'm already thinking about what we're going to be doing in terms of recording. And in the meantime, we have quite a few different performances coming up in different places. We are getting ready in a couple weeks to fly to Wisconsin to do a series of concerts. We have a few different appearances on Long Island coming up. I could send you those dates if you'd like. I don't remember them off the top of my head. And then we'll just see. I mean, a lot of it depends on how music venues move forward in this kind of uncertain time. But if there's music to be played, we'll be out there playing it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.